Welcome everybody to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Nick Karson, and he's the author of The Power of Women Over Men and How to Use It. I'm so excited to have him here today because today he's talking about a hot topic. He's talking about he's just not into you, signs he's not interested. And I know, ladies, you're dying to know the answer to this question. But before we jump into it, Nick, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you and what made you write this book.
Well, I've written for years. I've got a number of writing projects, but I've always enjoyed having a whole lot of female friends and great conversations with them. Many times over the years, it always ends up turning to guy advice from me, which fortunately is usually quite successful for them. So people were saying I should write a book on this stuff several times over the years, and now I've done it. I've written the book, and the book's available.
Well, that's great and I could see why it's going to do well is because I know women always love to hear from a man's perspective what a man's thinking and what he wants. So that's great. So let's talk about this. What are some signs he's not interested in a woman, like in the early stages of dating? Can you give us your first tip?
In the early stages of dating, I would say watch out for the guy who is kind of low energy around you. If there's just no pupil dilation and he's not touchy-feely, like just clear signs that he likes you and trying to do little things to impress you. If he's kind of just laid back and ho-hum and he's got a roving eye, he's just not that keen. So yeah, I would watch out. He would probably just try to hustle you into bed to have some quick fun, keep you on the side till he finds someone that does engage him.
So, and I think it's interesting because you brought up something that I don't think a lot of women know about this tip. And I know about it, but you had mentioned about pupil dilation. Can you elaborate more on that? Because I think a lot of women don't know what you're talking about.
It's very real, and a lot of men and women sort of aren't aware of it, but it's been proven over the years. It's a very real thing where when we're excited and engaged, our eyes light up and our pupils large. Children do it when they're excited or watching cartoons or seeing a toy, but when a woman's into you and engaged, you can see it in her face and her eyes, and a guy should be too. He shouldn't just have like ho-hum sleepy eyes and little python dots for pupils. He should be alert, awake, engaged, excited to be with you and looking into your eyes and doing a lot of other things to impress you. But it really is a big thing. Friendly eyes and unfriendly eyes, there's a big difference.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, because I did know that about the pupil dilation, it shows someone's really interested and excited about you, is that's something you can't fake. It's either you're really interested or you're not. And it's not, oh, I'm going to make my pupils dilate or I'm not. It's something that just comes naturally if someone is really interested in you.
It's true.
So, okay, Nick, what's your second tip?
I would have to say he's not calling, texting, or you've got to initiate contact nearly every time. That should not be the case. This guy should be pursuing you. Some guys don't contact you all that much, but he should be. You should know that he is constantly there. Could I see you Wednesday night, or could I see you Friday night? What are you doing on the weekend? That should be there, not just you like, why does this guy never call me? And especially when like I've slept with this guy twice or whatever, and like he just doesn't chase me up or come around to see me, or when he does, it's kind of usually only for one thing and then he's out the door pretty quick. Pretty big signs he's just not showing you any real affection. No flowers, no presents, very clear signs.
Well, and I just want to point out to the ladies something that you said is you shouldn't sleep with him that soon until you know. Because otherwise, if you're sitting there wondering why he kind of just shows up and has sex with you and then he leaves, it's it's obvious what's going on. So you make sure that you get to know him on a more personal level that has nothing to do with sex, so that he gets to know you too, right?
Totally.
So okay, so what's your third tip?
I would have to say, probably more so just his attitude with you, with around his friends or family.
Mm-hmm.
He should be arm around you proud to be with you. You should be able to sense that he's really happy to introduce you to people. If he kind of doesn't, and you're just kind of with him, and he doesn't really seem to care, he's blasé. Not good, not good. You're kind of just a fill-in. You're just taking up space next to this guy. He should really have a buzz to be with you around other people. When you're out at places where there are other male hunters checking you out, he should even do that little like, there's competition around. I'm going to make it very clear that this is my girl and she's with me, hand on the shoulder. If he sort of just doesn't care and his eyes are roving around at all the other candy, bad signs. He's really not that keen on you. He's not that into you.
Well, and that is so true, and it sounds so like caveman archaic is, about making sure that he's like preventing other men from but it's actually very, very true. Men are hunters by nature. And if he feels in competition, he will make sure all the men there know that you're his woman, right?
Totally. A lot of guys, and I've seen this so many times, will get up and actually kiss their girl in a crowded club or bar or wherever, at the beach, wherever, before they go to get a drink. But it's like, it says to all the other guys in the room, this is mine, don't approach. I know it's so caveman, but it's so true. And you can see, and other men will be checking, like, are they together or is she all that keen on him? A move like that makes a big statement right across the bar.
Right.
Don't come. She's with me.
Yeah, it's basically what I call marking his territory, like how a dog marks his territory.
Kind of me. Men are men at the end of the day, yeah.
And ladies, don't get mad. It's not about a man owning you, but it's just how men like to protect the woman that they're with, and they want to make sure that no other man hits on her. And you should, if you really like the guy, that should actually make you feel good, right?
Yeah, and it says he cares about you. This guy is into you. If he doesn't do those things, it's not so good.
Yeah, and I would just want to address one thing that you said earlier about how he introduces you to his friends and family. If he says, I think it's a bad sign if a guy says, so this is my friend Suzanne, instead of saying, this is my girlfriend Suzanne, or whatever, that makes it clear that you're not just friends, right?
Yeah, yeah. And body language, again, should show that arm around the waist or on the shoulder, holding hands, yeah. But yeah, totally. How he interacts with you around people he sort of knows, especially at a party or a barbecue, that will tell you a lot. If you feel like you're just kind of like a man bag, you probably are. You can do better, move on.
Right. And I just want to point out on the opposite end of the spectrum too, is that if you're dating a guy, you've been dating him for a little bit and he never introduces you to his friends or family members, he's not that into you. And it's not to say that he needs to do that in the early stages, but if you've been dating him for a while and you've never met his friends or family, that means he doesn't take you seriously, right, Nick?
Yeah, totally. If he's really, the feeling out period, if he's decided like, I really like this one, yeah, he will actually push for a scenario where you can meet his friends and family. It's like, he doesn't so much need their approval, just like, look what I found and I really, really like her and I think this could be the one and I want you all to meet her and know that she's with me now.
Exactly. Well, these have been some great tips. So Nick, tell our audience how they can find you and your book.
It's for sale in a lot of different places, but probably the best place is Amazon.
Great. Well, everybody go check out his book on Amazon. It's a great book. So thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you'd like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. If you would like to get our free ebook on the 3 secrets guaranteed to attract any man based on scientific research, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.